Hello and welcome back to Ant's Gaming Suite. This is your host Anthony, back with a new world video. Today's video is a continuation on the Void Gauntlet because I have access to the PTR now. Just having a look around in terms of what the difference are, if there are any difference between the video I made yesterday and today. But from the looks of it, everything is the same. There is only a slight name change, so don't be concerned of it, but most of the skills are pretty much on point. Although the skilling and the weapon percentage will be fully aware of it. This is still subjected to change. But anyway, before we jump straight into it, make sure you guys hit that like, hit the subscribe, and leave a comment section down below. Will this be part of your new PvP or PvE build? So, first things first, we're going to look at the Void Gauntlet. We'll look at the Annihilation skill first, followed by the DK skill. And then I'll eventually show you guys what the skill looks like. So first things first, we'll look at Void Blade. Summons a Void Blade that deals pretty much 100% weapon damage. If you do a thrust attack, deals 150% damage. Deals 5% weapon damage per second, reducing damage absorption by 5% for a second. Stacks up to 3 times, so you can get 15% weapon damage per second. Or I mean 5%, so 15%, sorry, absorption. And then we pretty much have Fortified Blade, pretty much a name change again. Pretty much the same skill, Fortify for 20% for 5 seconds. We have a critical Vicious Void, name change again. 10% for critical damage on Void Blade attacks. Successful thrust attacks heal self for 5% weapon damage per disintegrate, stacks on target, scales exclusively for focus. So you need to have focus in order to have this particular perk on. And then we have the Oblivion, an absolutely name change. Summons a Circle of Rift that deals 30% damage per second and also increases empowerment to self and friendlies for 20% within the 5-meter radius for 6-second duration. Your attacks inflict weakens the target, reduces their damage by 5%, and then pretty much 15 stamina extra per second for self and friendlies inside the radius. We have Petrifying Scream. The name has remained the same as the skill set, dealing 100% weapon damage, staggering and inflicting root to enemies 5 meters in front of you for 2 seconds. Bone Chilling Voice, name change, pretty much an increase of 1 second for 50% or for targets below 50% HP. Fortifying Echo, exhaustion by 10% for 10 seconds per hit, stacks up to 3 times. And then we have all the other mini perks as well, which we'll cleanly take a look into, which I didn't in the previous video. So we have Keen Confidence, 10% critical chance while above 50%. You have 10% cooldown reduction. You have a reduced by 50% on harvest health draining. Critical hit gain health equal to 50% of damage. 10% damage while below 50% mana. Gain in power with increasing abilities within 50 meters of enemy, increasing damage by 10% for 5 seconds stack. And then we have pretty much the ultimate orb, or the ultimate passive Void Caller, a name change, pretty much the same thing as my last video. Gain a stack of Void Essence at 6 stacks, consumable stacks, and contain a 3-meter aura. It heals self or friendlies, and also 30% weapon damage and deals 30% weapon damage per second to enemies within. So that is pretty much the skill. Now I'll quickly run down a showcase of it. So first things first, the light weapon based attack. So this is what it looks like. So if you just attack, you just summon a little light ball. Nothing spectacular, pretty standard. And if you charge it up, you'll shoot a bigger Void or Kamehameha, and that is it. So our first skill for Void Blade, you pretty much summon a halo looking sword that summons into the palm, and you can slash around that lasts for 15 seconds. So that is what it looks like. And then we have our Oblivion. Pretty much similar to the Ice Storm, summon a radius around you that looks like a pretty much darkness well. And then we have Petrifying Scream, which shouts towards a skull. We'll just quickly do that once more once the cooldown comes off. Second time around, and that is it. So we'll quickly do some demonstration on some of the mobs. So Void Blade, summon our Void Blade out. So we're gonna do a lag. We're gonna do a thrust, 2.8k. Okay, so now that we're in a slightly higher area mob, we'll just test out the Void Blade once more. Summon the Void Blade for 15 seconds. Stab it out. I think the Void Blade will be probably one of the main DPS weapons that you must have if you want to play offensively at least. Alright, now we're going to try the Oblivion. What we'll do is quickly pull a whole bunch of mobs for us to test this out. It'll probably most likely one-shot them all, but... So, come on. Come to me. Alright, so... Any creatures within the field will do damage over time based on the weapon percent damage. Let's see if everything cleaves. Yes, it does. Pretty cool skill nevertheless. And now we're going to do Petrifying Scream. Nice. And there we have it. So those are the 3 skills for Annihilations. We're going to quickly jump into the next DK. So now we're going to go into the DK side of the build. Pretty much, like as I mentioned, everything's going to be pretty much the same. Just as name wise is pretty much different. There is a little slight difference in terms of skill ability, in terms of the mods, just because some of the mods require you specifically to use focus over intelligence, even though it is primarily spec into intelligence over focus. So first skill for all of DK, pretty much the name is the same, deals 100% damage in inflicts and disintegrate, dealing 5% weapon damage per second, reducing damage absorption by 5% for 8 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. At a maximum range, it transforms to a healing orb and returns. Healing friendlies for 20% weapon damage per second for 5 seconds. Healing scales exclusively for focus. As I mentioned before, there is a skill tree for intelligent base and there is a skill tree for focus base. This is what was not mentioned in my previous video. However, in the light of PTR, we have finally been able to take a look into that deeply. Some perks for it is draining orbs, as it's pretty much the same as my previous video. 5% mana increase. Orbs already infected by a debuff reduces their movement speed by 30% for 30 seconds. Press ability input gain to detonate the orb again, dealing 100% weapon damage. We have Essence Rupture, fires a projectile that inflicts Essence Rupture for 10%. For 10 seconds, sorry, healing anyone that hits the target 20% of the damage done. Invigorating Rupture is the same, receive 15 stamina, overflowing essence, a name change here. We have a Baleful Tether, name change, fire a projectile that tethers at your enemy, tether refreshes, a cooldown reduction by 5%, a tethered focus, 100% mana regeneration while tether is active. That is definitely something that's different. And then we have Soldier regain 80% weapon damage as health. So pretty much most of the skill tree for Tether has changed compared to my previous video. So we're going to quickly test out the next set of decaying skills. So we are going to be using Orb of Decay first. There you go. And it heals me back as it comes back. Alright, Rupture. We're gonna tether. There you go. Tether has worked. And those are pretty much these 3 skills based in the decaying. It's more of a buff per se, I'd reckon. It's not very offensive compared to the Annihilation skill tree. And there you have it. Once I have a look deeper down into it, I will do a PvP and PvE build for those who are using the Void Gauntlet and Fire Staff build. Which will take some time as I figure out the best, I guess, best item skill and mod. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this clarified more about the Void Ore, and I'll see you guys in the next video.